Ready to go.
Okay, this is Rachel Curtis, this is Chloe Robnick, and they were blessed, I think, to be able to attend Freedom Ride 2015, which happened this last summer in the South. And they were part of a group from the diocese who, along with the bishop, went to the places that they'll talk about.
Yes.
Great.
They are.
I'm gonna go to the next one. Alright. Okay, so this is our group, and us two are in the middle. Right here. You can tell it's me with a bright shirt and Chloe with the pink hair.
That has drastically changed.
This is Maddie. She just got her AA degree in psychology, and she's planning to become a teacher. This is Kirsten.
Who is going to Shasta College? She lives in Shasta. So.
And then that's Elizabeth. She's going to be a sociologist. And Josh is not here because this is done in Sacramento Airport, and he was in Florida at the time. So we met him in the Raleigh-Durham Airport.
And then Kevin.
Yeah, that's Kevin. He goes to St. Martin's.
And his grandparents attend Christ Church in Eureka. So we got to meet them. And then
That's
Reeves, who is a junior this year. Who here knows?
Yes.
Yeah, junior this year in high school, and he lives in Napa Valley.
And that's Ty.
Who had just graduated when we met him.
And that's Sarah.
Sarah, one of our adult leaders.
She's a first-year priest.
First-year priest.
That's Anne.
Who works in the bishop office,
And that's Bishop Barry.
obviously. And
No sleep.
Yes, we were up for 48 straight hours. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we took a red eye from Sacramento, and then we got on a different plane in LA, and then flew to Raleigh-Durham. So we didn't arrive in Raleigh until 6 in the morning.
But that's that time. So here, it was like 3 in the morning.
That was great.
And we couldn't really sleep on the plane very much, so we were just sort of being zombies flying. I was trying to draw, and my sleep-deprived self tends to be a bit creative.
The reason we were sleeping at the airport when we got there was because we were waiting for Josh, who wasn't landing till, 8:30? We got him around 8:30, 9-ish.
Yeah, it was freezing in the airport. It was
They-
so cold.
They believe in AC.
They believe in the Ice Age.
Yeah.
And after we went to the airport, I wanted to go to sleep, but we couldn't because we were going to go worship at the Church of the Nativity in Raleigh, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there we met up with the Diocese of South Africa and the Diocese of Botswana. And they'd already been there a week before us, so they were all acquainted with everybody, and they were all dressed up so nicely, whereas we were still in the clothes we'd worn the day before.
In sweats and old t-shirts because, traveling on airplanes.
Mine were a bit nicer, just had a nice shirt on.
I
And-
and sweat jeans. So yeah, we worshiped there, and we met a girl from Chicago too, who came by herself. Her grandparents live in North Carolina, so she was staying with them, but then joined us and worshiped like normal worship, and we were falling asleep. And
Well, like, you were falling
I was
asleep.
falling asleep. I was very tired. And then the South Africa and Botswana sang for us there. They introduced everyone who was there as the Freedom Riders, and then we were able to leave and go to the campground, which is where we stayed for the week.
It's at Haw River State Park. And they have this really nice facility there, and it's by a lake and by a river. And they have gym and pool and all this stuff. And we're just like, yeah, it's really
It
nice.
was really nice. They had just redone it, so all the cabins had their own bathrooms. You didn't have to leave to go to the bathroom. 3 showers, very nice AC. That was a little too nice.
Yeah, we were rooming with people from Massachusetts, and they like to play with the thermostat.
Oh.
They like to
And our cabin was the coldest cabin, and we did not like that. We were like, turn off the AC. They're like, it's hot outside. We're like, no, it's not.
And then after that, we were able to have a couple hours just to lay around. Most of us were too excited to sleep, which was kind of weird because we should have, but we didn't. And then after that was our first dinner, which was interesting because it was south, and so they had like the grits and the biscuits, and fried food.
That would probably kill you.
It was good. It was my first time trying grits, so I had a lot of fun doing that.
I've already eaten grits before. I don't desire to relive that experience.
And then after dinner, we had about a half an hour just to settle back in, and then evening prayer, which was supposed to end at 10, but it went to like 11:30. So by the time we got into bed, it was like 12:30.
Yes, and we had these journals we were supposed to be writing in the whole time, and my super-deprived self was very angry at that point.
Yeah, we did not write in journals that often because we were very tired by the end of the evening. But then we got to sleep. But granted, it was still not, so they're 3 hours ahead, so we were still like not sleep.
Yeah.
We were sleepy, but it was just the whole week was really weird for us because we were like, it's not.
Massachusetts
job.
who all wanted to stay up late and party, and we were like, turn off the light already.
It's very interesting. But it was weird to like call back home, talk to my folks, and it would be 8 o'clock there, and close to bedtime where we were, and they're like, well, why are you going to bed? We're going out to dinner right now and stuff. So
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Maybe next time we should make them all come to California, so they're all jet lagged. Just be all up all night, keeping them up. Yes, this is a view of the sunset as we're coming in to land at LA to change planes. And
That's
this
the campus.
is the campground. And you can see it's in this lovely wooded area with the nice cabins and the deck that wraps around and all these little paths that lead places.
Was that the day it rained? Right in the morning after it rained?
That's the,
Or the first day we were there?
yeah, it's the first day.
It did rain, and
It rained only at night, which is amazing.
Yeah, but it was pretty waking up and seeing the sun shine through all the trees and it being wet and having all the
Lots of bugs.
great critters around you.
Really big. There were these beetles about this big, shiny, iridescent, blue, green. They were beautiful and all over the place.
And they
Chloe
make
got
loud
freaked out.
noises, like very loud noises.
Cicadas?
No, I think that was the cicadas, Chloe.
What was that's
Not the
what
beetles. The beetles are quiet.
all the bugs.
There were lots of moths, and moths would come to
Moth
the cabin. There were quite a few people who were scared of moths, so I got to have the pleasure of keeping them out. It's like they're flying all over the place, I'm chasing them with my blanket.
They were big though, but it wasn't that bad at the mall. But the big bugs that make noises were not my favorite part.
Okay. These are people from the Diocese of South Africa. That's,
Bishop Michael Curry.
yes, and he's not part of them either, but.
He knew Kathy, who is right here, who was their leader who brought them. And in this part, they were singing to us again. They sang a lot.
They were quite a big group. They were the second largest group, weren't they?
Yeah, we were the first.
The largest.
We were the largest. They were
Yes.
second largest. In the Diocese of Botswana, there were only 4, but they also
really,
sang.
really good singing. She belongs to a choir group, and they have released an album. And she's a model, and she's Miss Africa.
She just
currently.
won 2015 Miss Africa.
Yes.
That was really cool. And then 2.
One of them's a lawyer, and one of them's an engineer.
Yeah, these 2. And then these 2 are technically engaged. It hasn't happened yet, but it's gonna happen. So that was
Okay, so the first day we had nonviolence training, where we learned about target people and non-target people. So like a target person is a person who doesn't make up the rules and is subject to the rules, sort of like a child in a parent-child relationship. And non-target are the people who get to make up the rules and don't necessarily have to follow them, like the parent in the parent-child relationship. And we also learned how to identify somebody's needs. And what we did is we had this role play where a situation was given to us that the school wanted to change the dress code. And so we divided up into groups and pretended to be one of the people who were affected by this change or had some sort of interest in the change, like there were teachers, a group of students, a group of staff, a group of concerned citizens, and a group of parents. And teachers wanted to have sort of order, they wanted to have uniforms, but they were willing to give some concessions about what color the uniforms were or something like that.
Or adding on to uniforms, like
Yes.
using scarves or different fabrics to make it your own.
The students didn't want uniforms at all. They wanted the freedom of choice. That was their need. The staff didn't care as long as scuff marks were on the floor.
And certain citizens were like, it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
They were like Switzerland.
Yeah, the parents were sort of half and half. Half of them wanted uniforms, the other half were like, oh, but that will impact my child's freedom of choice. And so we learned how to identify each group's needs, and then work out a compromise that would help all of them. And that was what we did the first day. And then the next day we went to the International Civil Rights Museum, which its main feature was the Greensboro sit-ins, because the museum itself is situated in Greensboro. And those are the 4 young men who started the sit-ins, which spread to all cities all across the South, and resulted in lunch counters being integrated. And then after we went to we were still inside the Civil Rights Museum, and we had this discussion panel where we talked to people who were involved with the sit-ins and other protest groups. And there were
These two and this man on the end were 3 of the 4 original sit-ins of the picture before which was real. So it was really interesting to talk to them and hear what they had to say. And then these women, they were a part of the first mini sit-ins, but they were younger than those men, so they weren't.
Yeah, they were like high school students. After all the college students got arrested and kicked out of school.
They brought in the high school students, like
Yes.
said the counters would do homework for a couple
And
hours.
when it was holidays too, because the college students had to leave to go home.
Go back home.
And so the high school students would continue with the sit-ins because it still wasn't integrated yet, and you had to keep doing it, otherwise nothing would happen.
So it was really interesting to listen to them. It was about an hour and a half, I believe, and we just got to ask questions. And
I fell asleep in the middle of the direction myself.
I was interested, and I took a lot of pictures of Rachel so she could hear about it
Yes,
afterwards.
because the certain roommates I discussed earlier were very staying up late. They were up until 1, and they didn't get to sleep till 2 because they just don't have a light on and have friends over. No,
It was
You're
crazy.
getting ready for college.
And on Wednesday, we went to the Stagville plantation where we learned about sharecropping and slavery. And you see here, this is views from slave house, and this is a sharecropper's house, which incidentally happens to be identical to a slave's house. Except that it has some electricity and it's painted nicely, but it's basically the same. And what you have are these rooms, which look like a nice-sized child's bedroom, and the fireplace and little light bulb up there. And you find out that that one room houses an entire family.
About 5 to 7 members of the family, ages from child to grandparents.
Yes. And sharecropping basically, how it worked was that it was a system of debt in which the African Americans involved were trapped into this situation when, in far off days, when they were recently just freed and they couldn't find a job anywhere, so they were forced to go back to their former masters and ask for a job. And so their bosses all like, okay, here's this job I've got for you. It's a really good deal. Here, let me tell you. What you do is you pick my crops for me. You plant the crops, you weed the crops, you do all this stuff for the crops. And at the end of the year, I'll weigh the crops, and you have that much credit that you can use to get food for your family, get clothes for your family, get all the stuff you need. And so they thought it was a pretty good deal, right? And so they go out and plant the crops, weed the crops, pick the crops, bring them back, and the boss would weigh them and be like, okay, here's how much crop you picked for me, but here's how much food your family ate, here's how many clothes your family needed, this is the tools you bought, and guess what? You're in debt. But that's okay, you can work it off the next year. And so they keep on doing this, and people would get trapped in it for generations. And there were people living in that house until the 70s.
Sounds like modern day payday advance stores around here.
Yeah.
This is inside the barn, and that's inside the sharecropper's house. And it's more inside the barn. The barn was absolutely huge. It's bigger than this church. This church could probably fit inside it. Ceilings were way up there. It's this huge old expanse of thing. And it's like, this is where the animals lived. And we're like, people were living in these tiny rooms, and animals got that. And so it's like,
The animals were treated nicer than the humans, basically. Is what happened. There were nice, like, little stalls for, you know, the cows, and the small ones for the pigs, and they had nice little clean water spouts, and
these high lofts where they put hay and things like that.
yes, I forgot about that. So we have a video. We weren't able to put it in the presentation, but you guys can hear it just singing of when we would go into town. We rode like big greyhounds, and we had the Botswana Diocese with us. And the whole time we would be singing, and they taught us a song, and we thought you would like to hear it, if my phone can work, hear what they sang to us.
You know, we taught them Rise and Shine.
Yeah,
We probably shouldn't have done that.
they love that song. We sing it a lot.
We turn it up.
I believe you hear it. Everyone else from the other churches were able to hear it, so probably.
There's only 4 of them.
So
Oh,
only 4 of them were
nice.
Great
together.
sound.
And the one who sang by herself at the end was the one who has the album out with her church. So it was really, really nice to hear them sing.
Yeah, they could probably do that one day.
It was over and over, just, you know, a couple lines of the song. We just all sang in with us. They told us when to chime in when they needed extra help. And then on the way home,
From Stagville, because it's a long drive back to
it was about an hour and a half.
Yeah, they sang pop songs all the
Very
way
interesting.
there.
It was really interesting to hear them sing Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, sang Queen, Katy Perry. I mean, it was great. I loved it so much.
Universal way to communicate.
Yeah,
Song.
it was really funny.
And in the mornings and in the evenings, we have workshops where we learn about the history of North Carolina and also the history of discrimination. We talked about Lumbee Indians, who were also discriminated against, especially by the KKK. And so what happened one time was that the KKK decided to have a rally in Lumbee Indian land. So the Lumbee Indians found out about this and they weren't very happy because the KKK is against them because they have white blood and African American blood as well as Indian blood because they're considered not a true tribe because they don't have any actual traditions, but they are considered amongst themselves Indians. And so the KKK decided to have this rally. There were about 50 KKK members there. And then all of a sudden, 200 Lumbee Indians show up with rifles. And so Lumbee Indians scare the KKK people off. And they got scared so badly that one of them drove into a ditch on his mistake. And instead of being violent and mean or nasty like the KKK would have been in the same situation, the Lumbee Indians actually pushed the car out of the ditch and like, bye, as they drove off. And the KKK's never demonstrated their lands again because that's scary. I wouldn't want to have lots of Lumbee Indians after me.
In this video, I believe we were singing, which is why our arms are up like that, because we also, the whole trip, we just sang the whole time. That's all we did. We had no 5-minute break. We sang. We had a man who had actually come to Philadelphia with us who helped do a lot of singing, and he was the one who did the singing, I guess, with the guitar, and he just would whip it out and just start away, just sing, and songs that we would know. Like we had in this book in the back, just full of all kinds of songs, but songs that were, you know, really upbeat, and that probably Camp Living Water sang a lot of the songs, and stuff like that, so we knew them. But yeah, the whole time we just put our arms up, we'd get up and dance, and we just sang.
In the middle there, is that the soon-to-be presiding bishop? Is
Right.
that Bishop
Yep.
Curd?
He hung out with our bishop and him are pretty tight. We got to see him more than any other diocese, which was awesome for us. We just
We
sat
got
around.
connections.
Yeah, we got to just sit around and talk with him. And, we have videos of him dancing with us, and it was really interesting to see him. But yeah, he hung out most of the week. The last day he left early just so he could get back home. But, yeah, he hung out and
Love these chairs. Those chairs are so nice.
they're really nice.
I'm trying to get those chairs for our church because they're really nice for people who are smaller.
And yeah, we're really trying to push more Sarah into investing into them. Because we love them. That's all we sat in. The adults would sit in the chairs,
They
but
look like sling chairs.
yeah, you connect them, and they were just like they remind me of when you go to football games and you get those. That's what.
Stadium chairs.
Yeah, that's what they remind me of. And they're not even that thick. They're just a little thin, but it's just enough so you don't become numb anywhere. It's great. We love them.
Yes, on Thursday we went to Durham and we worshiped there. Well, we had a workshop in Durham and then that was at one church and then we went and left and went to Chapel Hill. I went to the church there, that was on the hill. And we blessed this quilt that was going to be sent to the Church of the Advocate, which is what we visited in 2014. It's one of the churches we visited in Philadelphia.
The kids who went on that trip made this quilt for that, and so we were blessing it.
It's the ones
so-
from North Carolina.
Yes. So we could send it back to that church, and then it was just that our bishop was the one who blessed it, and then a bunch of people who were sitting in front came and just held it while he blessed it.
Chloe's right there.
Yes.
I'm right here.
Ooh, sorry. Yeah, and then that was also the night we heard Bishop Curry give a sermon, and if none of you have heard it, you should find one online because it's very inspiring. He is very into his sermons.
He's
And
like, you're on the Jesus movement now.
yes.
He's all referencing his phone, like, this is the Bible, he says as he holds up his phone.
Oh yeah, we're turning into a different generation where the Bible's now.
Yes,
on
that's the
phone.
Bible right now.
It was very great. But I first heard him when I was 13. I went to a Sacramento convention. It was my first time hearing him, and it was just amazing.
I believe he also spoke at UAE.
He did speak that way too, and then here it's great. If you haven't, you should go because it just makes you have chills. Some people cried. I mean, just like screamed at you.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yes, and you want to be vulnerable.
Yeah, you want to like do everything he's telling you to do.
Return to your teenage years where you rebel at everything.
Yeah, it's great.
These are lots of people.
I took a lot of selfies because
Yes.
I'm that
That's
tall.
the soon-to-be presiding bishop with Chloe. And she's from Botswana. He's from North Carolina.
And then that's one of our
That's Reeves.
one of our members. I am in most of my pictures. I have my camera on me because I went everywhere with that because I need to document everything I do.
Make sure and back up those pictures, they're priceless.
Yes, yes. And then just
Hmm.
more pictures.
Those are great.
This, I believe, was the airplane.
Yes, with your selfie sticks.
I
Yeah.
love the selfie stick.
Take yourself outside.
And it broke. It broke, and I was very upset.
Oh.
There's, that's Reeves, by the way.
Yeah, and then Josh, and then that's Kirsten, and I believe that's the airplane too.
Yes.
We had like an hour delay inside of the airplane, so we just hung
So
around.
like, I
for an
wanted to
hour.
go shopping in Minneapolis, but we couldn't do that, so I was sad.
We just hung around the airplane just because they were like, we can't lift off yet, but we also can't let you off the plane, so
Right.
sit tight for an hour. I'm like, all right. And this was one of our workshops. We soon there will be a picture of a man named Mike.
Don't get me, I'm terrible
His
with
last
names.
name, but he's an actor who I'd really love to meet just because I want to be an actor when I grow up. And he did a one-man act on this book called Blood Done Sign My Name.
Which you did not read, even though you were supposed
I was
to.
supposed to read it and I didn't. I'm really sad that I didn't read it then, but I did read it. And it's about,
Well, the main character is the son of a pastor who lived in Oxford, North Carolina. And this was, at the time of the killing of this one African-American Vietnam veteran. And it touched off a series of riots and protests, and there were fires and $1 million of property damage, and it was not nice. And eventually the pastor and his family ran out of town because they supported the African Americans.
but on May 11th, 1970, so it recently happened, a 23-year-old was shot by a man who was not convicted. There was a trial, but
Oh, wait, jury.
Yeah.
Conviction.
Nothing happens, and
That never happened
this
before.
actor did a one-man act, basically just making, about an hour and a half of the whole book. It was great, amazing. He did all the voices. I mean, he played a 5-year-old to an old African woman, 50-year-old woman, and he had voices down, and it just was amazing. But the story was they were trying to show that this actually happened and to bring it to life. And it was funny, he was telling a story, the first time he did it in public was 2005, and the family of that man who was trialed came to watch. They did not
Yeah, they were
appreciate
like,
it being
They were just like
shown.
doing the old time until he told this rather R-rated joke, in which case they're like, and it's like
they
that's
laughed
the
once, and then the rest they were. But the sister of the man who was shot came to see it too, just because the wife, didn't want to come just cause. But the sister came, and she talked to the actor and shook his hand and told him she's glad that he was able to do
Yeah, because
this.
he healed her, because she during the performance she was very really tight. Like whenever he played one of the characters who shot the guy, she was like angry. You could see the anger in her face and the fury and the hurt and the pain. But at the end she hugged him and said that he made her understand what had happened, and she could now forgive them.
Yeah, it was really great to see that. That was probably one of my favorite things that
Yes.
we saw.
And this particular person is a very talented individual who can make up songs about biscuits on the spot.
She was so great, and she came from Africa. That's what she said. She was like 9 when her family came over,
Yes.
and so she really showed us some, like when she talked, it was really interesting to hear. She was about 22 maybe at the most,
Yeah.
and she talked a lot about how when she shaved her hair off, how she stopped shaving her legs and her armpits, and how like people at college were like, wow, why are you doing that?
Yeah, like, are you lesbian? And I actually know somebody who is lesbian who does that, and she's also African American, and she's also half white, and so I actually know somebody who's like that, and like,
But yeah, we talked a lot about like just stereotypes of lesbians automatically have short hair, or people who men who are gay, are very flamboyant and wear skinny jeans.
Stereotypes.
their hair.
Stereotypes, yeah, and it was really just because I have a lot of friends who from all different realms, and so it's really hard for me to see other people just automatically like that is a woman, and so her gender is female, and she uses the she and her pronouns.
Yeah, I've got a friend, Jude, and they want to use they, their, them pronouns because of their gender identity. They identify as gender fluid, and so that means that they don't ascribe to either he or she.
They don't fit in the gender box. They fit outside of it.
There are also people who don't really have a gender. They just sort of like, what's this gender thing? I don't understand it.
Yeah, so they're just like, I'm more of who I am, not of what my gender says I am. So it was amazing to learn more about that. I've been learning just because my friends in high school experience things like that, and so it's really nice to see other people experience the same things.
This is mostly everybody, because you can see some people got cut off over here. And this is outside the barn, by the way. That's just the front door. There's a window up there. And it's just partly to show you how big that thing is.
It was even longer. We could probably fit that same group one more time across the barn. It was
Maybe
actually-
2 more times.
2 more times, yeah. It was big.
That's weird.
Yeah. And so yeah, you could probably see, let's see, there I am, and then we have Maddie, there's Rachel. I had just gotten back from the bathroom, so I like rushed over, like they were saying say cheese, so I was smacking her front. Yeah, that was a fun day. It was hot that day though.
It wasn't that bad.
It was
What are you
hot.
talking
I
about?
was in black pants and a t-shirt that was gray. It was so hot. And then I was like carrying my.
A lot of humidity.
I just wish there were more chairs.
Exactly. Yeah, we
I
could
want
not
chairs.
sit anywhere.
Yes, because it was like bugs on the ground and it was dirty and the barn wasn't very clean.
Exactly. That is everyone. Almost. Beth is not in there. Beth
But
Crow.
she's taking the picture.
Yeah, Beth Crow who put everything together.
There's all of us, so you can see that we've got some connections there.
Yeah, and both of our Richard. And then this is the man who, music coordinator, I guess is what his.
There's our talented singer of biscuits.
Yes.
So whenever we dinner or lunch would be late, we'd all demand that she sing the biscuit song, and she'd be like, I just want a biscuit, soft and flaky biscuit. And she like jokingly say, my album's coming out soon. Yeah, we
Single
did,
hit.
like, somebody asked her to sing the broccoli song, and she's like, that's gonna be on my album that's coming out.
These are just random pictures from the museum. To them. This is the panel, and then that's Beth.